Kahf, ayah number 75. قال ألم أقل لك إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا قال إن سألتك عن شيئا بعدها فلا تصاحبني قد بلغت من لدن عذرا. قال ألم أقل لك إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا. He said, did I not tell you that you can never bear with me patiently? Musa alayhi salam said, if I ask you about something after this, do not allow me your company. You have now reached a point where you have a valid excuse to part with me from my own side. So here in ayah number 75, Khazar said, did I not tell you that with me you would never be able to be patient, have sabr. So now Musa alayhi salam did second mistake. So he said, okay, qala in sa'altuka an shay'an ba'daha fala tusahibni. Musa said, if I should ask you about anything after this, then do not keep me as a companion. You have obtained from me an excuse, meaning then you can send me away. If I ask you one more time, then you can send me away because 3 chances are good, right? So 3 chances are good. So here the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, may Allah have mercy on Musa ﷺ and had been patient, we could have learned more. Because till here we know the whole story. Because he didn't have the sabr and story stopped here. Fantalaqa in ayat number 77. So they set out until when they came to the people of a town, they asked its people for food, but they refused to offer them any hospitality. Here hospitality, somebody has to host that time. They don't have hotels or restaurants to live or to have the food. And they found there in a wall about to collapse. So Al-Khizr restored it. Musa said, if you wish, you could have taken for it payment. After doing that, you might have asked for the payment. Now he is making a suggestion over here. He's not really asking any question, you understand? He's just giving a suggestion. But there is an implied question. You understand? He said no more questions and he has to have complete sabr. So this is like an implied question over here. Why would you do a favor to the people who did not even offer food to you? And by the way, you did a service to them, so you could definitely charge them for it. You did the service, you might have asked the food for it. In ayah number 78, Al-Khizr said, this is parting between me and you. I will inform you of the interpretation of that about which you could not have patience. So what do we see about Khazar over here? That is, he is satisfying the curiosity of Musa alayhi salam. Now we see over here that the action of Khazar, they kept Musa alayhi salam not only interested and alert but also very curious. And that is the key to learning. That when the student is curious, then what happens? They are eager to learn. So over here, whatever Khazar did, and the fact that he told him no questions allowed, it kept Musa alayhi salam alert, more interested, more curious. And whatever Khazar did in this journey, we see that apparently it didn't make much sense. Killing a boy, building a wall of a people who refuse to offer you any hospitality, and making a hole in a ship. All this happens illogical, nonsensical. However, as we learn in the following verses, there was much hidden benefit to them. And there are many things in the life that are like this. We don't understand why they are happening. They seem so illogical, counterproductive, but they happen. They seem unfair, they seem unjust, but in the bigger picture, they have a plus side to them as well. For example, a person could be sick. They might feel like why this is happening to them. Why? But in the bigger picture, they realize that sickness was indeed better for them, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings about good because of that sickness. Allah caused families to come together. When one person is ill, isn't it so that when one person is ill in the family, then what happens? Everybody is constantly calling each other how they are doing, they need anything, the family is close together. But what happens when the person is back at home? Everything is fine. Then a week goes by and anybody call other, there is no contact or no communication. So we see that we are going through some hardship. It is difficult to accept it. Why? Because we don't understand why it's happening. There are many things in life that are like this. But as we will see that there is good in everything that Allah decrees, and eventually we accept that what happened was indeed the best thing that could have ever happened. Right now we don't understand, but after many years we understand, after some time we understand. So what we learn from this is that no matter what happens in life, always be happy with the decree of Allah. Just accept it. Raditu billahi rabbam. Oh Allah, I accept you as my Lord. You are my God. You created me. You know what my struggles are. You know what I am facing, and you will decide my affair. So if you have decreed this for me, I don't understand why. But if you decree that, I trust your decision. That's it. Samena Vatana. Just completely trust and be submissive to Allah. Now Khazar explains why he did what he did until now. Even like everybody is curious, isn't it, to know what's going on. So from ayah number 79 onwards, as for a ship, it belonged to a poor people, and they were working at sea. So I intended to cause defect in it. Who? Khazar did it. As they were after them a king who seized every good ship by force. So he made that error so that it won't be good, So if their ship was perfectly fine without a hole, what would happen? The king would see the ship and he would take it by the force, and these 4 people would be left with no ship at all. So there was a hikmah behind it for making a hole in the ship. So what is better, having no ship or having a damaged ship? You tell. A damaged ship, okay? And here, as for the boy, his parents were believers, and we fear that he would overburden them by transgression and disbelief. So for Aradhana, so we intend that their Lord should substitute for them one better than him in purity and nearer to mercy. So these are the qualities of good child, of a good daughter, of a good son, and what? That a good child is khayram minhu zakatum wa aqrabu rahma, a respectful and one who shows good akhlaq to his parents, because the parents are more deserving of good akhlaq, and they are the most deserving of our love, our mercy, respect, obedient, and likewise they are almost deserving of silatul raham, that we should maintain ties with them, that no matter what they do, we still stay connected with them, isn't it? No matter what mistake they made, we will forgive them and we show mercy to them and ask Allah to show mercy to them as well. Ibn Khab reported that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, hadith, the boy whom Al-Khazar had killed would grow up to be a disbeliever, and had he lived, he would have moved his parents to rebellion and unbelief. So that is the reason he was killed. So you see, it's somebody's choice. If they want to be a disbeliever, that's fine. If they don't want to believe, they want to have a different faith, that's perfectly fine. However, when this was caused damage to the parents and caused them pain and hurt, Ibn bin Qab said he would have moved his parents to rebellion and unbelief. So meaning he would make them disbelieve also. Then this was the problem. Now what do we see over here? That there are hidden benefits in every decree of Allah Azwajal, in everything that goes against our wishes. Remember that there is benefit. Allah knows and we do not know. But what we see in this verse is that child who is rebellious to his parents, was he deserving of life? What happened? His life was taken away. Why? So that he is not a source of hurt and annoyance for his righteous parents. So what does this teach us? Hurting parents, is that something acceptable? Causing them pain, is that okay? No, no way. No, causing them grief, this is a sin, and it has consequence in the life also. So anytime we see there is some difficulty in our life and we cannot understand why it's happening, what's the solution? What's the way forward is think back. Think, how was I to my parents? Did I ever do something to hurt them? If I did apologize, is there something I am doing that my parents do not like? Fix it. Pray for them also. Pray for the parents also, because disobedience to parents, hurting parents, this is something that has terrible consequence. In this life also, it's a major sin. Please rectify this mistake. If you are, unreasonable to your parents, please rectify it. So here, ayah number 82 onwards. And as for the wall, it belonged to two orphan boys in the city, and there was beneath it a treasure for them, and their father had been righteous. So your Lord intend that they reach maturity and extract their treasure. So what do we see over here? If the parents are righteous, then children benefit in this life also, regardless of whether they are alive or not. Because these parents were dead, their children were orphans. Remember, we do not protect our children. Who protect our children? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we don't protect our property. Who does? Allah does it. So we have to make Allah happy, so that Allah will take care of all our affairs. All our affairs, when we give Allah His haqq, our ultimate love is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then what will happen? He will take care of everything. And this was a mercy from your Rabb. Rahmatam min Rabbika. And we are always in need of Allah's mercy. Whenever there is a problem, ask, Ya Hayyu, Ya Qayyum, bi rahmatika astaghis. This is the thing you can say, Ya Hayyu, Ya Qayyum, bi rahmatika astaghis. Al-Khazar said, I did it not of my own accord. He said, I did not do it of my own accord, meaning this is not what I wanted to, but what I felt like doing. No, I was instructed to do this. This is why I did it. Who said? Khazar said. So this is the interpretation of that about which you could not have patience. To whom he is saying? To Musa alayhi salam. And you see, when the reality comes to light, you wonder how foolish you have been for being angry previously, for being impatient without having sabr. So over here, when you see these verses, you look at the anger of Musa alayhi salam and the frustration. How could you kill a boy? How could you make a hole in the shape? You could have taken a payment. Musa alayhi salam is so angry, and he justified apparently. But then in the bigger picture, when you see why Khizr did what he did, then what happens? You find yourself to be so foolish for being impatient, for being angry. So whenever something goes against your desire, what do you have to do? Control your tongue over there. Be patient over there. Something apparently bad is happening, but it has a good side to it. What is the good side? Allah will bring it about. But wait and be patient. Have sabr. And now the story proceeds. Ayah number 83. Yas'alunaka anil zil qarnain. And they ask you, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, about Zulqarnain. Say, I will recite to you about him a report. Who was Zulqarnain? He was just and fair king. Indeed, we established him upon the earth and we gave him to everything away. Meaning Zulkarnain had a very strong kingdom and he had the ability to travel far and wide very easily. So he followed a way, meaning he went on a journey, until when he reached the setting of the sun, he found it as if setting in a spring of a dark mud. And he found near it a people, meaning at sunset he reached a place where the sun was appearing to set in the dark, muddy water, and close to it were some people. And these people, Allah said, O Zulkarnain, either you punish them or else adopt among them a way of goodness. Meaning you have the power, if you want, you can be good to them. If you want, you can punish them. He said, as for the one who wrongs, we will punish them. This is Adl. This is the justice of Zulkarnain. He chose justice. Allah gave him the freedom to choose whatever he wanted, either be just or be oppressive. What is the Zulkarnain chooses? Justice. Then he will be returned to his Lord and he will punish him with a terrible punishment. The punishment of Zulum in this life and in the next, because what does Zulkarnain says? I will punish him here. However, this person will go to Allah and there, that is where he will find the real punishment. This world is temporary, so. But ayah number 88 onwards, but as for the one who believes and does righteousness. So here righteousness, he will have a reward of paradise and we will speak to him from our command with ease. So here we see in ayah number 88, for the people who believe. So وَأَمَّا مَنْ آمَنَ وَعَمِلُ الصَّالِحًا فَلَهُ الْجَزَاءُ الْحُسْنَى فَسَنَقُولُ لَهُ مِنْ أَمْرِنَا يُسْرًا. Then he found a way. He did not stop there. He didn't say, let him retire, let me have fun now. No, he went on another expedition. So we learn so much from Zulkarnain, In ayah number 90 onwards, until when he came to the rising of the sun, he came to a place where the sun was rising. He found it rising on people from whom we had not made against it any shield. There was no shield over there, meaning these people were so poor, they were so backward, they had nothing to protect themselves from the light of the sun. You see, Zulkarnain had a lot of resources. He had lot of money, lot of manpower. What we see is that he did not indulge in the treasures that Allah gave him for his own pleasure. No, rather he used the resources that Allah gave him. He traveled far and wide. Why? In order to benefit people. So here we learn, if you have resources, use those resources for the akhirah. Being in this world, of course, we are preparing for the akhirah. And this is so motivational, I always, whenever I go through again and again this surah, get so much inspiration from Zulkarnain, isn't it? Kazalika, thus, and we had encompassed all that he had in knowledge, whether he was in east or in west, whatever Zulkarnain was doing, helping whoever, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had encompassed him in knowledge. So from this also we learn, wherever we are, whether we are in US, Canada, whether we are in India, Pakistan, doesn't matter, any part of the world, we gonna do the work of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah don't need us, but we need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we should keep our mission goes on and on. Then he followed away. He went on another expedition. See, he is not tired. He is going on and on. So we learn so much from him, isn't it? Until when he reached a pass between two mountains, he found beside them a people who could hardly understand his speech. Meaning he came across a people who were completely foreign. He couldn't understand them. He couldn't understand him. So somehow they figure out how to communicate. Sometimes when you meet somebody and they are speaking different language and you want to communicate, how you will communicate? Somehow you will, right? with the hand gesture or the face gesture, you communicate, isn't it? So they said, O Zulkarnain, indeed Yajuj and Majuj are great corruptors in the land, meaning over here Yajuj and Majuj live, so may be a sign for you an expedition that you might make between us and them a barrier, meaning please make some barrier between us and them. They are creating a lot of fasad, save us from the evil and we will pay you. So Zulkarnain said, that in which my Lord has established me is better than what you offer. Means I have so much, Lord has given me so much. And this reminds me of Sulaiman al-Islam. That time also Sulaiman al-Islam, when he received the gift from Sheba, he said the same thing, Haza min fazli Rabbi, I have so much fazl from my Rabb. Allah has given me so much. So the same thing here Zulkarnain said, look, he's not greedy over here. He's not conquering lands or traveling, going to different places for the purpose of oppressing people. The reason why he's traveling everywhere is so that he can help people. So what happens here? So when they offer him money, he says, what I have already is enough. It is good. And this is the sign of a good leader. He does not focus on receiving. He focuses on giving. And he said, but assist me with the strength, meaning I need you to work with me. I will make between you and them a dam. So bring me sheet of iron. Now he is using the asbab, means until when he had leveled them between the two mountain walls, he said, blow with the bellows. This shows that this fire was not small, because if pieces of iron are now going to be melted, and these pieces of iron are between mountains, that fire must be huge. Okay, until when he had made it like fire, he said, bring me that I may pour over it, like molten copper. So that's what he was doing. So you see, iron and the molten copper, there's a lot of fire, lot of fuel being used. What does it show? The Zulkarnain, he didn't just have the money, he didn't just have the resources, the manpower, but he also had the skills. Yes, he had the skills. He was strong in terms of faith, he was morally upright, and he was also strong in material sense. So what happened when this wall was built, when this barrier was built, so Yajuj and go over it, they couldn't break through it, so they were locked behind it. Now imagine what a great achievement. So look how awesomely he did it. Subhanallah. Ayah number 98, Zulkarnain, Haza rahmatum min Rabbi. He's saying, this is mercy from my Lord. Everything you do, but only from mercy of Allah. Don't think, oh, I did it. No, we are nothing. Only Allah. Haza rahmatum min Rabbi. What humility, such a huge accomplishment. This barrier which is impermeable and unseparable. What is the commentary of Zulkarnain? That this is the mercy from the Lord. He couldn't do himself. That's what he's saying. He gives credit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is true servitude to Allah. No matter what we have done, but remember that we couldn't do it without the help of Allah. No matter what we have accomplished, we realize that it was only possible because Allah enabled us. And remember that Allah's power is always greater. And he said, and when the promise of my Lord will come, he will make it level. He will destroy this wall. And when, so this wall was, he will destroy this wall when Allah wants this wall will be destroyed. Meaning it's not permanent. It's not here forever. Again, look at the humility of Zulkarnain. He has done such a huge thing, and what does he say? Oh, it's not going to last forever. When we do something, what do we want? It should last forever, like that. Even if we have just cleaned up the kitchen, what do we want? It should stay clean forever, right? So nobody take a glass out of the kitchen cabinet unless you are going to wash it and put it away. We get so upset with the people, but look at the Zulqarnain, how realistic he is, and this is what happens. A person humble, knowing that whatever I have done, it's for the sake of Allah and it's not forever, isn't it? So always, Allahu Akbar, Allah is great, and ever is a promise of my Lord true. Now, when is it that this wall will be broken? It is going to happen before the day of judgment. This barrier will break and Yajuj and Majuj will emerge. This is a sign from the signs of day of judgment. For everything is a time. For this is also a fixed time. There's a hadith. The Prophet ﷺ said, Yajuj and Majuj will make a hole in the wall daily. They are doing daily. And when the hole becomes deep enough so they can see the rays of the sun, meaning they make a hole, they try to break through it, and when they have made it deep enough that they can almost see the other side, they have almost penetrated through it, their leaders say, return now, go back and come tomorrow, you will be able to break the wall tomorrow. So what happens, when they come back the following day, they find the wall stronger than before. They did this work and they went back, and when they come next day, again that's stronger, the wall is more stronger now. So Prophet ﷺ, this will continue until they reach the end of their term, when Allah will intend to make them prevail over people. They will make a hole in it through which they will see the rays of the sun, and the leaders will say, let us return if Allah wills. You will break the wall tomorrow. This time they will say Inshallah. Till now they didn't say. When they say Inshallah, when they will come in the following day, they will find the wall as they had left it, and they will break the wall and run towards the people, killing them. They will drink all the water, and people will lock themselves in their fortresses out of the fear of Yajuj and Majuj. And Yajuj and Majuj will shoot arrows to the sky that will fall down blood-stained, and they will think that we have become dominant over the people of the earth and all to the dwellers of the sky. And after this, Allah causes a beetle to infest their necks, and it will become the cause of death of all of them. And Prophet ﷺ said, by the one in whose hand is the soul of Muhammad ﷺ, all the animals, insects of the earth will become strong by eating their flesh and blood, because there will be so many of them that the beast of the earth, they will consume the bodies of Yajuj and Majuj. So many of them, and may Allah protect us from this fitna. Ameen. And ayah number 19, وَتَرَكْنَا بَعْضُهُمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ يَمُوجُ فِي بَعْضٍ, and we will leave them that day surging over each other. A scene of the day of judgment is mentioned here. وَنُفِخَ فِي الصُّورِ فَجَمَعْنَاهُمْ جَمْعًا, and then the horn will be blown and we will assemble them in one assembly. When the trumpet will be blown the first time, what will happen? All those who are on the earth will die. And the trumpet will be blown the second time, then all people will rise from their graves. Groups and groups of people, huge crowds, like of which do not exist. Like, Yamuju fil bad, of surging over each other as if waves. وَأَرَدْنَا جَهَنَّمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ لِلْكَافِرِينَ عَرْضًا, and we will present the hell that day to the disbelievers on the display, meaning on the day of judgment he will brought so that people will see it. So this is how it's going to be. This is very scary thing, especially the topic of Jahannam. Those whose eyes had been within a cover removed from my remembrance, and they were not able to hear. These are the people who did not listen to Allah's word in this life. So what will happen on the day of judgment? They will be deaf and blind. What is the only thing they will see? Hellfire. May Allah save us all. And ayah number 102, then do those who disbelieve think that they can take my servants instead of me as allies? Indeed, we have prepared hell for the disbelievers as lodging. So in ayah number 102, أَفَحَسِبَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا أَن يَتَّخِذُوا عِبَادِي مِن دُونِي أَوْلِيَاءَ إِنَّا أَعْتَدْنَا جَهَنَّمَ لِلْكَافِرِينَ نُزُلًا. So this is the so bad hospitality is Jahannam, like setting up partners with Allah, and only He's the only creator, He's the only Khaliq. This is the most unjust thing that a person could ever do, doing the shirk with Allah, because He has no partner. The entire creation, His creation, the entire dominion, His dominion, and to say that anyone has share of that, that is a great injustice, zulmun azim. Think about as a people, when we own some property, for example, as women, we own some jewelry. So what if somebody said, oh, what is this ring? I also have share in that. So yeah, you can wear it few days, but I need to wear it the rest of the days. Would you accept it? No way, right? My husband gave it to me, and who are you, and so blah blah blah. So we want the thing what we own, we don't want anyone to have it. So how come Allah made it? He is Khaliq, Malik and Mudabbi, and we are giving credit to any other person? No way, we can't do that. Ayah number 103, say, O Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, shall we inform you of the greatest loser as to their deeds? Would you like to know who will suffer the most? Who are the behind in terms of their efforts? Who are there? قُلْ هَلْ نُنَبِّئُكُمْ بِالْأَخْسَرِينَ أَعْمَالًا. They are those whose effort is lost in the worldly life. Why? Because their efforts resolved around this world only. Dunya and only dunya. They slept with the worries of this world. They woke up with the concerns of this world, and all the day they spent chasing the pursuing the matter of this world only. While they were living their lives in this way, they were thinking that they were doing well. They thought that they were doing good stuff. They didn't even think that they were doing something wrong. And here we see in the following ayah, those are the ones who disbelieve in the verses of their Lord and their meeting Him, so their deeds have become worthless, and we will not assign to them on the day of resurrection any importance. So here this, because ulaika allazina kafaru bi ayati rabbihim wa liqai fahabitat amaluhum fala nuqimu lahum yawmal qiyamati wazna. And here we see, look at this, are those who strive only for this world, forgetting akhirah. What does Allah say on the day of judgment? Will they have any reward? No. Will they have any way of earning the pleasure of Allah? No way. They will be the worth of their deeds. Nothing. Why? What was their fault? They reject Allah's ayah. Why? Because the success of this world was more important to them. They wanted to what they wanted to. They didn't want to care about halal and haram, the laws that Allah has revealed, the right and the wrong. No for them. What was their ultimate goal? The pleasure, the pursuit of happiness. Where? In this world. And for that they were willing to give up anything. Just think about, just imagine, reflect on the fact that there will be a time when we will be standing before our Rabb, without any interpreter, without any helper in the middle, before us the fire, and on the right and our left our deeds, and full authority is with only Allah. If He wants, He can forgive. If He wants, He can punish. What we want at that time? What would we desire at that time? Allah's forgiveness, Allah's pleasure. And so if we want it, then we have to work for it right now. We have to do those things because of which Allah will forgive us. We have to do those actions because of which Allah will be pleased with us. There's a hadith. Prophet ﷺ said, on the day of resurrection, a huge man will come, and he will have no weight, not even the weight of the wing of the mosquito, in the sight of Allah. And Prophet ﷺ then recited this ayah, فَلَا نُقِمُ لَهُمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَزْنًا. We will not assign to them on the day of resurrection any importance, meaning their deeds will have no value in the sight of Allah. They will have no value in the sight of Allah. And then who are they? Ultimate losers. No matter what they did in this world, it didn't make it to the akhirah. And then we proceed, ayah number 106. This is their recompense, hell, for what they denied, because they took my sign and my messenger in ridicule. And indeed, those who have believed and done righteous deeds. Whenever talking about hellfire, and now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, ذَلِكَ جَزَاؤُهُمْ Jahannam bima kafaru. And then in ayah number 107, innal lazina amanu wa amilus solihati kanat lahum jannatu firdausi nuzula. Indeed, those who have believed and done righteous deeds, they will have the gardens of paradise and lodging. Khalidina fiha la yabghuna anha hiwala, where they will live forever and will not wish to move therein. They are permanent resident of the Jannah. Subhanallah. May Allah make us all among them. Ameen. So here we learn in ayah number 108, they will never ever be they will never ever be bored in that, La yabghuna anha hiwala. Have you ever experienced that you're doing something and you are enjoying it a lot and you don't want to end it? Especially children are like that. When they go somewhere, like for example park, you tell them it's time to go home. They say no way. They are thirsty, they need to go to the bathroom, they are hungry, they are tired, their eyes are closing because they are sleepy. But do they want to leave the park? No, because they are enjoying, so they don't want. I'm just giving an example. They don't want to leave the park. But then what happens? Eventually they surrender, they give up. Why? Because they cannot enjoy anymore. They don't have the capacity to enjoy anymore because they are tired. In Jannah there is only pleasure, pleasure, pleasure. So much that la yabghuna anha hiwala, they will not desire from it any transfer. And what do people think? How will people live in Jannah forever? Won't they get bored? Do you ever get bored when you are having fun? You will never get bored. So here in ayah number 109, say, if they sea were ink for writing the words of my Lord, and the sea would be exhausted before the words of my Lord were exhausted. Like, if the sea were ink for writing the words of Allah, the sea would be exhausted before the words of Allah. For even if we brought like of it a supplement, like praising Allah so much, like, one sea is not enough, another sea, like it. In another surah it says, like of it 7 also, it's not enough. Praising Allah is so much. And in ayah number 110, say, I am only a man like you, to whom has been revealed that your God is one God. So whoever would hope for the meeting with this Lord. Here, this is very beautifully described. Ayah number 110. قل إنما أنا بشر مثلكم يوحى إلي أنما إلهكم إله واحد فمن كان يرجو لقاء ربه فليعمل عملا صالحا ولا يشرك بعبادة ربه أحدا. Yes, Surah, and the one who knows that one day he will stand before his Rabb, he wants that meeting to go well. Then what does he have to do? Let him do righteous deeds. Do not associate any partner. Do not do any shirk. Two things mentioned over here. First of all, فَلْيَعْمَلْ عَمَلًا صَالِحًا. Not that he should do amal of just this world, of fun or enjoyment, so that at the end of 40 years, what does he have? Nothing to take him to Akhirah. فَيَعْمَلْ عَمَلًا صَالِحًا. If we want to make it to Jannah, if we want Allah to be happy, we have to work for it. We have to strive for it. We have to do something. And secondly, he should associate in worship of the Lord, not anyone, not doing the shirk. Meaning any good deed that he does, he should do it with sincerity, with akhlaq, only for Allah, to make him happy. Allah should be his ilah, ma'bud, and he should do everything that he does for the sake of Allah, for his love, out of his fear, having hope of his reward. And this is the end of Suratul Kahf. Alhamdulillah, we end the Suratul Kahf here.